Coming to you live from the palatial studios of PBJ Productions. Welcome to Patrick and BJ Talk Real Estate, where we talk about life, the universe, and everything as it relates to real estate. Hey everybody, it's BJ.
And Patrick.
And we're back talking all things real estate. And you know what, Patrick? The government just announced how they're going to save us from the real estate mess that is Canada, that they say is Canada, yet again.
Yet again.
Yeah.
So what is it this time?
So this time, the solution is, instead of letting the foreign buyers ban end in 2025,
Okay,
let's extend it to 2027.
right, because in 2018, when talking about BC, you can't talk about Ontario or the other provinces. I don't think they have like a foreign buyer tax. Ontario might, please correct me, but I'm not a realtor in Ontario.
Yeah.
Like after 2018, like the foreign buyer like amounts dropped so significantly. But let's eliminate the 1, 2, or 3% depending on the market of the total sales, the market share.
Well,
let's ban them all completely to make this happen.
So let's put this in perspective, okay? BC's supply of condominiums owned by non-residents. Okay?
This will be interesting.
For the purpose of investment purposes.
Sure.
Okay?
Those people are likely they're non-permanent residents. They're holding that property here. It might be a rental, might be vacant.
Yeah.
Okay.
7%.
Of the total condos
That's right.
in existence.
Yeah. Okay. In Toronto, or pardon me, in Ontario, that number is 5.6%.
5.6%.
Okay. Now, let's put that in perspective. Those investment properties were concentrated in downtown Vancouver and downtown Toronto.
Okay.
Okay. So,
And where else would all the condos be? Like in density concentration,
Of course.
they would be in the major centers
sure.
anyways.
Yeah. But the point is, the government is making this and doing this to try and affect a problem that is not something in the core that we need to deal with. It's something, we're talking about affordable housing, we're talking about availability. Availability in the West Shore on Vancouver Island is not affected by investors owning condos in downtown Victoria.
Right, exactly. So if it's in the outline, and maybe there is a percentage, like where we are here, we have some condos.
Yeah.
Are some owned by people that are from outside of Canada? I'm sure there are.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like we have quarter shares over here. We have
Sure.
other things.
Oswego, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's interesting. So I'll put on my tinfoil hat. So if it's a foreign buyer or a corporation that's registered in a foreign area, would that be included in this foreign buyer investment? You know what I mean? Like they're buying up, these foreign corporations are buying up all of our
So
real estate.
here are the exceptions. Okay. Those with temporary work permits, refugee claimants, and international students, who meet admittance criteria.
Right. I can understand like a student, let's say you're post-secondary exchange student, foreign student, have a education visa, and your well-to-do parents buy you a condo instead of renting.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Yeah.
And you're here for 4, 5, or more years getting your degree or your PhD or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So like a long-term hold, that seems like a decent investment.
Yeah.
But if it's a short-term, like a temporary worker, this is where I'm going with.
Yeah.
Like if you have a visa for like 1 season, 1 year, or 2 years, like you're not gonna buy. I'm sorry.
No.
Unless it's like a long-term employment.
Yeah.
With a certain company.
Yeah.
And then look at purchasing instead of renting.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see the numbers on that because there's like I think 2023 had like 1.5 million, nearly 1.5 million temporary visas.
Okay.
If I got that number wrong, it's over 1 million.
Okay. So, but here's my thing on all of this. What we're seeing is policy that is being rolled out for the whole country but it's essentially only affecting two markets. I mean, sure, there's some overlap. There's going to be some stuff in Montreal. There's going to be some stuff in Edmonton. There's going to be some stuff in Calgary and
right, but it doesn't affect like communities like Cowichan.
Yeah, 100%.
Nanaimo,
Right.
Port Alberni.
Sure.
Not. It's probably less and less effect altogether.
Yeah,
policies like that.
And I think you're talking about national policy, and we're such a large and diverse country, both economically, population-wise, and ethnically speaking, in terms of the concentration of different ethnic groups. You can't make a carte blanche policy for the whole country, especially when it comes to real estate related things. I get stress tests and those things. Those aren't specific to certain areas, and regardless of your income in a certain market, that is still going to apply because it's based on a percentage.
Yeah.
Okay. But otherwise, if you make policy that is supposed to help the housing market geared towards Toronto and Vancouver,
even though there's exceptions in the policy,
100%.
right? So like populations that are under 5,000 or within 10 kilometers of populations over 5,000. But that's really like, are foreign buyers really buying there? Oh, and then what's the other exception? Because as Canadians, we love our neighbors. The Americans, this is keeping the Americans in mind, right? You could still buy property that's like a vacation property here. So if it's, you were selling a place
recreational properties.
Recreational
Yes.
properties, right?
Yeah.
So you're not allowed to occupy the property all year round. Like
That's
you have
right.
a maximum limit
Yeah.
on that.
Yes.
Well, there's no restriction on buying those. So it's still not that affects the housing affordability of anything. Those are already restricted properties.
Yeah.
So that's still available.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
here's my sales pitch. If you're looking to buy a vacation property, you still think about like recreational properties are still available to foreign people that are non-permanent residents here in Canada. But obviously, we'll check into all the details, and depending if that actually suits you,
Right.
or if there is an exception for that in that
Yeah,
area.
absolutely.
Lots to look into before you jump into that one.
Yeah, for sure. So let me add something else. I'm going to read a quote from Tom Davidoff, who is the associate professor at UBC's Sauder School of Business. Okay? So specifically talking about, is this going to affect overall housing affordability? Because this is
Let's
the
see what
idea.
the professor says.
Right? This is what it's supposed to be about, right? So he said the combination of empty homes taxes and provincial foreign buyer taxes have taken the air out of foreign buying.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much juice is left in the lemon to squeeze? Because foreign buying has been obliterated in BC and Ontario by these taxes. So you're left with markets that have been, you're left, with markets that have been less adversely affected.
Right. So it doesn't really affect it. So, I'm sure like the federal government, means well, but just like you're saying, like you can't like carte blanche the whole place, where
Yeah.
even making a rule like that doesn't really affect Vancouver.
Yeah.
Doesn't affect
And not anymore, right?
Not anymore.
Yeah,
Because
and
the air is out, or the juice is out of the lemon.
Right. And the government will say, well, no, it's not a one thing that takes care of everything. We are using this as part of the tools in the toolbox. This is how they're saying it.
So right. So they're using the least effective tools that they have because they can't figure it out. And
Yeah.
right. But this isn't a new story. I mean, this is a new development, but it's not a new story or pattern or behavior with government policies, right? They want to make construction of rentals more affordable. So let's remove the cost of GST to the builders, developers, the materials.
Right.
But as a business, it's a flow through. It's an accounting exercise. Like maybe you have to pay the GST and then you return it, and it's just a flow through your company, right?
Right.
Like why don't they remove PST? If they were serious,
Right.
Like, I know that's a provincial thing. It's
Yeah.
not a federal thing.
Yeah.
But like, there's other ways to do that.
Sure.
So I think they announce policies that don't make a lick of difference. It's all just words. It's a mask. It's like, oh, look, we're doing something.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be like totally pessimistic, but like, we can't rely on the government to solve all of our problems,
Really?
and we can't tax our way to prosperity.
No, really? Yeah,
Well,
I think one of the
you know.
one of the best quotes I have heard, period, was from Margaret Thatcher, former Prime Minister
of UK.
of the United Kingdom, and she said the problem with socialism is eventually you run out of other people's money.
What was her nickname?
The Iron Lady.
She was the Iron Lady. That's right.
Yeah. So, but I thought that's a good point. If you're going to tax your way into prosperity. So, before we end up going down a whole different rabbit trail there, the point is the government.
That's not taking sides. That's just like, those are facts.
Yeah.
That's history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the point is the government is making a decision about extending the foreign buyers ban, which really is, you call it a toothless tiger. It doesn't really, it's not going to affect anything further in the housing market in this country. As I read, the provincial government in both BC and Ontario had more or less dealt with their foreign buyer issue with the vacancy tax and the foreign buyer tax already.
Yeah. All bark and no bite.
Yeah. Well, on that note, well, thank you for joining us. Please subscribe. Take a minute if you haven't, and subscribe to the channel and like the video. It just helps us with getting the word out there. We're putting out regular content, and I think are we up to 3-4 videos?
Yeah,
three
three
videos?
and sometimes four videos
a week. So you want to subscribe and make sure that you click the the notification bell so that you're when we have stuff coming out.
Yeah, and if you're on Vancouver Island, or if you're thinking about moving to Vancouver Island, you have any questions about real estate, or you're thinking about buying or selling, feel free to reach out to us. Our contact information is in the description below. And thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.
See ya.